Welcome back to HBM. No, welcome back to kitchen sink. Wow, I'm still getting confused, even after all this time. Anyway, the output is blue, and the input will be green. None. Just turn on auto eject and then you're good. How do you do that? There. Auto eject. Technically, it would be auto inject, wouldn't it? No, I'm joking. Or would it? It's a good question. But anyway, we're gonna make the electric furnace soon. The first thing I need to do is solve our problem with oxygen, because that is what makes the 3 times ore processing even work. You need to get oxygen. And how do you do that? Well, you need to make an electrolysis setup, which is the first of the dumb machines that we have to do. Actually, no, it isn't. Actually, it's not that dumb. But anyway, it will be a stupid setup for us to make. Stupidly difficult compared to the rest of the mechanism. Luckily, this is kitchen sink, so everything in kitchen sink is easier than it would appear. And I believe that this can use oxygen from other mods. So if we use, in theory, does it have to be oxygen? Deconcentrating oxygen from other mods, like liquid oxygen can be made from other mods, I guess, and then deconcentrate it into the mechanism mod. Which means you could run this off of an HBM mod chem plant if you really wanted to, but I do not want to try this right now. I have not experimented with that. But here's what we can do about electrolysis. You need the electrolysis machine, I believe. Electrolytic separator, which is actually just 7 of these advanced alloy. It's pretty easy. We'll go ahead and do it the mechanism way for now, because this is easy peasy. Yeah, it's literally just 7 of them. Yeah, that will be fun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, you can enrich these, but they would give you 8,000. I don't want this thing to always be full. It'd be stupid to do that. When we get the diamond stuff, we'll need to do that. But right now, we're just doing ore processing, and then eventually we'll set up our first digital miner, which is hopefully what I'm going to do. Because the digital miner is actually just the cheapest way of getting random rubbish out of the ground. You want 100,000 dirt blocks, you can do that as well. But anyway, we're going to need some gold today as well, and we're going to run that through the setup to make powder. Right now, we're still not capable of getting oxygen for this setup, which is why I'm not using it as a tier 3 setup, but it is technically tier 3 setup. You can do other recipes in these, like pulverization recipes, you know, making the ingots into powder and stuff. It's the crusher. It does not imply that it can make shredded powders. I mean, I guess it would make powders if it's able to crush stuff, and it can turn stones into different types of stone, random stuff, sandstone into sand, stone to cobblestone, cobblestone to dirt or something. Yeah, it's just what this thing does. One main use is making biofuel, which is used in the biofuel generators, because that's just how it is. Now we have this, we can also take one of these. I believe the actual electrolytic device is made with multiple osmium ingots. Okay, so I should probably have just shredded up the gold and done the iron in the same method from the ingots, but no. We have not done that. We'll just take the osmium and throw it in there. Now we have tier 3 ore processing. That's incredible. We'll probably just store most of our ingots as powder for now. Now, I say this is stupid because normally in a mechanism setup, you end up with a bunch of stupid stuff happening where, like, you have to do, what's it called? You have to set up, like, what am I thinking of? Oh, you have to set up, like, a pump thing. Anyway, but this gets us to another method of power generation, which will be the actual hydrogen itself. I could use for generating power inside of another generator. The hydrogen, let's see here, it can be used. Liquid hydrogen, no. But this can be used later on for making hydrogen chloride, which is not table salt. It is not table salt. I want to get the chlorine pinwheel. That's what I want to do. Is that actually a thing I can get? If I can get the chlorine pinwheel, I'll be able to cheese mechanism, probably. Chlorine pinwheel. Because that will be needed for tier 4. Yeah, you have the Silex ancient scrap for... What the heck kind of recipe is this? Yeah, but you can find them out in the middle of nowhere if you're lucky. Which we'll have to do at some point. We'll have to go hunting for that. that will get us like speed run on our mechanism progress. This is able to make the electrolytic thingy. Then it's 2 of these, and some iron ingots around the outside. That makes our electrolytic separator. And that gets us to another thing, the jetpack, which is amazing also. But anyway, for now we'll just set this up like, I guess right here. Or maybe right here. Would it make sense to put it right here because we would have to pipe it later? But would it make sense to put it here? It would make most sense to put it like this, but then you have the actual problem of that stuff in the way. You know, see, mechanism machines are just bad because the oxygen, I believe, comes out on this side versus the other side. So, I mean, that's the problem with this. So there is infinite water blocks, which are actually very cheap to make. They just require basic plating, which is made of graphite. And to make graphite, you just do coal inside of the burner press. And to do that is going to be a bit painful. Actually, no, you need to do coal coke inside the burner press. Do not try that with coal. So to make coal coke, you will need to use this thing. And I will just switch that out. Pull the switcheroo. So we'll just have to wait on that for now. In mechanism, the infinite water source is actually called a pump, and it's rubbish. It is actually just garbage. It is the worst way of getting this stuff from the ground. That should do the trick, or the actual, it's the worst way of getting water. This should do the trick for actually allowing us to make stuff, like, you know, like high oxygen. The only problem is I'll need a pressure pipe to go up to here, but thankfully I have made the steel ingots already. And I don't really need to mess with, well, I will need to make another machine with these. Oh, dang. So I'll need to make a lot more iron. But once we have tier 3 processing, it'll be pretty easy to get started on that. The brine will be difficult to get from the, for the next tier of processing. But that's why I want to skip the next tier of processing, kind of, and go with chlorine instead. The alternative to getting the HCl is actually to get salt from the water, which is stupid, because salt is not HCl, it is NaCl. And I'm not going to do that method. Look at this. Meteorite, meteorite, meteorite. Give me something good. Give me something good. Bro, it is like glitching out here. I need to make a tough alloy pickaxe so I can actually mine these. That is what I will do. Alright, so while we're waiting on our coke, we'll go ahead and set up our actual... I'll go bucket some water and also go grab a tough alloy pickaxe. I have not finished this thing. I want to finish this thing at some point. That's one of my goals before the end of the series, is to make a Tinkerer's tool. And also, I'm going to limit myself to probably using the Tinkerer's tools, because I feel like it's more fun than just having a tool that infinitely... Actually, no. I don't feel like I want to do that because it doesn't have Vein Miner. Vein Miner is amazing, but, yeah, what was I doing? I was going to meteorites, and I was going to go mine the actual treasure blocks, so I could show you all what they give you. They will give you materials like Watt's superconductor stuff and things like that, which are actually not that bad. They're like ridiculously useless at the start of the game, but like amazing when you're later on and you want to build a Watts reactor without spending like 60 years crafting the components. It just speedruns your campaign, you know, and makes it so fast. Makes your playthrough go turbo. Yeah, but regardless, this is a meteor block, which is useless kind of, except for making one thing, and that is making the meteorite pickaxe, or no, meteorite sword. Meteorite pickaxe would be baller, but we don't have that. We have nothing like that. What is this? Currently harvestable. That's a good question. As you can see, it gave me some weird stuff, I think. Oh, check this out. Advanced power storage cell. Super rubbish right now. I do not need this. But it will be useful once we get the HBM power system going. Oh, check out this one. It's all lava or something stupid. Oh, wait, that's the one that's fresh. But this one is not fresh and it's... Wait a second. Did that one destroy the ground, bro? No, he did not. But he did not come full as he should have been. Dang it, so I will never get all the good stuff from these. At least when they spawn in the regular HBM, they have the pleasure of giving you random good stuff. Oh, look at all this random ore. You can also get a bunch of treasure blocks if you're lucky inside of the actual insides of these. If you look around on them, you might find some treasure blocks. So always take a look around to see if you can find some of them. But we will go to the next one now, which is this guy. They just generate in the area around you and then they are useful. Right, so I tried to mine this guy, looks like. Hopefully we get lucky and get something good. A treasure block probably would be nice. Or nothing. Unless I'm not in the center yet, but I think I'm in the center. It is just a full meteor block. Like a full chunk of it. It's useless. For now. Here is the fresh one, and it's got the meteorite cobblestone, which actually looks really nice. I honestly... Hold on. This is the new stuff. The new look and texture for those. And it looks beautiful. And this is some weird texture for them. And also, why the heck do these give you experience? Like, that is just like the weirdest thing ever to me. Because I've played the 1.7.10 version a lot more than this version now. And I'm just like, they don't normally give you experience, so I'm like really confused on that. Like, what is the thought process behind this? That is not very faithful, I don't feel like. But it doesn't matter about being faithful to the original, now, does it? Alright, since our coal coke is not done, I will show you what this thing does when you plug in the water manually. As you can see it now, separate the water down into hydrogen and oxygen. And I believe he just pumped out the hydrogen into this guy. Which is wrong. He's not producing any of the hydrogen. Unless he is filling this tube with the hydrogen right now. I am not sure. He's not producing the hydrogen. Okay, so now he is... does he have to be rotated? I think he must be rotated. Okay, so let's rotate this machine. It should keep all of its contents, so it will keep running. And that should provide this guy with oxygen. Or does it need to have a actual... Let me grab the configurator. Is this a fluid or is it a liquid gas? Oxygen gas. Oh, now it's doing it, I think. No. I believe it needs to be piped via fluid ducts. Also weird that it's not a perfectly even amount of... That is the wrong material. That needs to be producing the oxygen. And it has not done that. It's just sent out all the hydrogen, I'm pretty sure. Which is white. Explains why the hydrogen was not being produced right away. It took us a second to fill up the pipes. So that would explain why this is uneven now. But it's fine. I'll know we'll cut the pipe like so. That is the hydrogen again. Not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for oxygen. So I need to have this guy on this side then. And I need to remove that with... I can remove it with this thing. And it's like super fast, isn't it? That is the oxygen. That hooks up like so. Gives it oxygen. Boom. That is how you set up the tier 3 chemical setup for oxygen production. There is only one thing left to do with this, is that is to make the actual oxygen production automated. And to do that, I will just need to add a thing from nuclear craft to produce 10 millibucket of water per tick constantly, which should be enough to power our oxygen production for now. And that should also make all of the graphite I need. Graphite can be then shredded at the pulverizer here into graphite powder. And when I combine these two together, I also need to take out the tin from this guy and take the tin through the tier 3 processing setup, because it does in fact work with thermal ores, so now I will be able to get 3 times that. And it's cheaper than running the induction smelter, which we'll get in a later episode, but for now we have basically gotten everything that we need as far as ore processing goes to get started. And as you can see here, auto eject is on, but this guy does not have his sides configured correctly. So an input would be red, and an input would be red again. So now he will do all of the ore processing in a line. Pretty brilliant, isn't it? It's very good. And now we will have tin when all of that is done. Here's our advanced plating. The tin is coming through the system. We'll need 2 ingots of tin. What else does it need? Like water buckets or something? I believe it is just water buckets and tin. Okay, so one thing I've noticed is that not only is this version weird, it's just like of HBM mod, it's they don't know how to spell. It's not how you spell geyser, that's how you spell what that says right there. It's not how you spell. But anyway, we should have now our infinite water supply for this setup, which is amazing, because this will come in handy later on. We'll be able to upgrade this into different tiers of these when we need more of them. or less of them, or whatever you think we might need between. So, pretty awesome. Infinite water source will go right here. No, actually, it will go on the back of this guy. And you will always have water. Next episode, we'll get a jetpack.